Hey there, Tio here, and I'm back with some more Tales of Arise. Like this. Alright. So, let's start with the skit.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town, the way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it. How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden? I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Well, I wish we could see how they were posing. Let's cook something. Let's see. I need to do some of this. It also gives me an XP boost.
Done. This is sure to give the others some much-needed energy. All right, it's done. Apologies for the wait, you guys.
That's a lot of fish you've cut up again, Kisara.
That's because I caught so many earlier. If you're going to eat them, it's best to do it while they're still fresh.
Was it difficult slicing up that many fish?
No, I'm used to it. It's no big deal for me at this point.
I know I probably shouldn't be saying this after all the trouble you went through, but I've never really understood the appeal of sashimi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Law. I didn't realize. I only make it because it's an easy way to deal with big catches when I fish.
You haven't done anything wrong, Kisara. Law, if you don't like the flavor, you're always welcome to add some of my spices to it.
Hey, yeah, that might work. I'll just put some of this here.
What's wrong, Law? I've never seen someone jump up and sprint off that fast.
He ran as soon as he took a bite of that sashimi.
Was he crying because of the taste? I don't think the sashimi is the problem here, guys.
There we go. Touching females. Let's see. Okay. Got everything. Okay. Points for it. Havoc thrust. Okay. Okay. And let's keep going.
Damn it, Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menancia. I command you.
Rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Dragon swarm!
In here!
I need to change my body. So I did some arena fight off camera. I changed the party for this. There's two DPS. And what I'm doing.
In an instant.
Normal fight. I'm gonna back
Those
to my
soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
team.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegus hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegus before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Ooh, Platinum Dog text. That's nice. That's something I want to do. I forgot. Let's check this place first. Chest. Red jump.
Gotta break through.
In a vine, take this. Eat this.
Dragon swarm.
Elusive Alpha. Demon's descent. Flashing fang.
Nice. Got them all.
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Ooh, Darkbane. I think I need this for some stuff.
Go no further!
Try harder. Not a chance.
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Void slash. Take this. Burn.
Down on the ground. Inferno punch. Tornado drive.
Take this. No escape. This one keeps charging us.
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Oh, I think that's what I want
Leave
to
it
do.
to you.
Walk the party out.
Dragon swarm.
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more.
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky.
Yeah, party. Get Shion in and
Get lost!
alright. Start with this.
Not in your dreams!
Bombardment.
Raise your
Not
hand!
good.
See my support! I'm a true gunslinger around here.
Oh my lord.
This
armor's too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest.
Holy glimmer!
Dragon swarm.
Holy land!
Sword rain alpha. Not a chance.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and cuddling to me.
Please now, water! Hear my call!
Incineration wave.
Burn it! See my hand?
You're finished.
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.
Gotta break through. You got.
Not on my watch! Healing circle! Thanks so much!
Let's try.
Get out of bed.
I will show you any mercy.
Oh, well, I picked up on myself.
Do it, Dohalim!
Light burst force.
Radiant Genesis!
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Sword rain alpha. Wind.
Do it!
My turn!
I didn't get this one. I think it's going to be okay.
Alpha! Win! Throwing light
Well, am I improving?
Oh yeah, also I activated this artifact. Let's see, field guide. This one, where basically all the damage is doubled, the one I get and the one I deal.
The speed and precision of your aim is simply unmatched.
I had no idea you were watching me so closely.
Yeah, I activated it because it's gonna make battles end quicker, and I
Those
feel
soldiers
the
don't
risk
seem to have
reward
any qualms about attacking on sight.
is worth it.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Dragon Swarm! Ignite! You require a headshot! Dragon Swarm! Win! Strike! Throwing light spear! You're mine! Dragon Swarm! My turn! No escape! Sword Rain Alpha! Strike! Strike! Soaring light spear! Try harder! My turn! No escape! Dragon Swarm!
I'll
Coming
stop its
through.
charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
Now! Scarlet Inferno!
What?
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Nicely done.
Let's see. So we're gonna go this way first. Pretty sure that's gonna be the chest. Come on.
Out of my way!
Let me help.
Where
are you going?
Oh no. That's
Can't get out of this!
Photon, right here.
You're mine! Move it!
These ones can run rings around us.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Do it.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Wow.
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Gold? Red sage is nice. Regenerative crystal. Not on the level 5. Also on level 5. Hexbreaker level 5. Yeah, I got a bunch of those. Level 5 Hexbreakers.
Go no further. There.
Bring him down! Take this!
Change your inhibitor.
Sword Rain Alpha!
One for the range attack.
I owe you
Do
one.
it. Dion, astral energy. Full throttle.
Now! You're mine!
Inhibitor.
Soaring Light Spear!
Here goes.
Now or never! Stardust! Soaring Light Spear!
I'll
No escape! Too fast!
Stand back.
I'll trip it up!
Everyone hanging in there?
Go no further.
Feisty one, eh? Dragon Swarm! Here I come! Take down their defenses! Stardust! Sword Rain Alpha!
Here, let me help.
An astral art?
That's my cue.
Sword Rain Alpha! Shut him down!
Do it, Johaline.
Light Burst 4!
Radiant Genesis. Hear me.
Not a chance! I'm not Soaring Light Spear! Fire support! Dragon! Rolling Alpha! Divine Wind! Flash Blast! You're mine!
roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright, shiny mood.
Check out.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Slowly again. Flashback from the past.
Alphen,
You again.
tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion. It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
I mean, she said her name, right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
So let's save definitely in front of this. Oh. In case the damage is too much against the boss with this artifact I got.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
It's a dark core.
Summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogles. Then we get some answers. Aim for the weak spot! Dragon Form! Burn!
Down.
Dragon Form! Sword Rain Alpha!
It's weakened!
Four.
This ends now!
Do it! Sion, astral energy! Full throttle! Illuminate
You're mine!
Hurricane Form!
Dragon Form! Sword Rain Alpha! Win! Sword
butchering this thing. And maybe I should have... Oh. Yeah, I shouldn't have stepped inside of this.
I'm almost impressed.
High praise.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
This one keeps charging up!
That's what my shield is for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Soaring light spear! Point flash!
Don't leave me!
Just platform.
Not done yet!
A wailing steel lightning! Tiger blade! Oh, violent party magic is taking my off! Hurricane that'll bring you down! I'll be saving this one! Steel!
Dragon Swarm!
Here's a healing
Alpha!
Do
Someone
it!
win!
Neon! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Doing double damage, definitely cut. First
Now
battle,
it's just
battle
her!
time.
Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
you? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on. What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
What?
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
Soon,
We might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
Is it the end of the game?
I just need a little time first.
Okay, so let's hit again. Let's... Could be. But would be quick and weird. Anyway, let's start to engage this.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever, I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Oh, and now I could move away anyway. That's almost kind of weird. Or it could be that it stops us from quick traveling? Nope.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Alright, let's have a look. Select a topic to explore. Okay. I guess there's a bunch of stuff. Master cores. Master cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these master cores, those with earth, fire, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan Lords at the time of the Crown Contest. Only the Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Rena's Alma is ready to be reformed. Its existence is kept top secret. Underneath the Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each slot competes in the Crown Contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each slot may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Rena's armor materializes. Be advised that active master cores may resonate with other master cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to successful regeneration of the Rena's Alma, master cores will cease to be deployed and the Crown Contest will be permanently halted. Spirit cores. Spirit cores are end terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Denons must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the Crown Contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zugals to control them via astral arts. Addendum: increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on the host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yields is still pending. Okay, so the harder you slave them away, the more energy is produced. So what do we have here? Lord. Each Crown Contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority as well as one of 5 elemental realms to administer, and its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a Master Course power. All randoms must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Okay. Furthermore, in the event that an acted lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in the position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. The following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject experimentation. Test subject number 10105, given name Warren, generation NA, unique adjustment index ethnicity NA. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risk it poses surpasses even those of the last successful subject itself, a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum, this is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. Sedative mask. Oh. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. Oh, okay, so that's what they did. She did to help him. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Addendum, due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Report. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. The system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord and the Supreme Authority, while relegating both Renans and Danans alike to enslavement. Test subject 10105 serves as the realm's current Lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring the situation will continue. And then 1. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once the subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Then 2. Soldiers in Lenegis who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. Okay. Lenegis. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign Maiden and Rena's armor within the central core of Lenegis. It is comprised of classified and essential personal residence zones around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegis serves as a central base of operations for the management execution of the Crown Contest on Dana. Warning: any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. Detachable Harvester. A massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of Lenegis' conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Danan waters, it extends two sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Dana, meanwhile the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links the biological spirit vessel placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the plant's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transferred to Rena via Lenegis. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegis' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. Addendum 2. Detachable Harvester number 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. This one I already checked, right? The Sovereign. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Danan subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover with real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on a Danan subject are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. The Maiden acts as the Sovereign's support mechanism for the Spirit Channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A random subject serves its function, providing the Sovereign with the supplemental dark astral energy it lacks, in tandem with the Ren's armor. During the ceremony, it is partially responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the Sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the Sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of the Sovereign without the Maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the Sovereign nor the Maiden are to be informed about the details of the Spirit Channeling plan. Then 1. Mental instability in the Maiden has been deemed the cause of the past Sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. Then 2. In line with the plan adjustments, the current subject will have its Maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Hey. That was a bunch of information. Yeah, actually, I think we're going to take a break here. I'm going to save on this. And yeah, then we're going to kind of lost my train of thought. Well, anyway, if you've enjoyed the episode, then please leave a like. And if you've got anything to say, write it down in the comments. And I guess then I'll see you next time. So, see ya!